Yo.
Hello. Testing, what's happening? Like when you're in the mic, like start the video
Hey guys.
and then run back.
Well, hello Eddie.
Hello, Kat.
Welcome to YouTube.
Thanks for having me, YouTube.
Where are we today?
We are at a church. I'm hoping you could remind us of the name because I've followed you.
It's All Souls Church on Margaret Street in Fitzrovia.
Beautiful.
It's the bougie part of London.
It is bougie part of London and a church befitting of the bougie part of
It's
London.
so true.
Yeah, it's very dramatic and it's lots of detail. It's an ADHD dream in there. It really is.
I think that's why most people with ADHD are like so bored, because the world generally, the modern world, is so understimulating, and it's so sad because it shouldn't be that way. Because we are actually jazzed by stuff like this.
Yeah.
We're jazzed by stuff like this.
There's always something else to notice and admire and enjoy.
Yeah. This is why, this is so random, but I always think about how kids' bedrooms should always be filled up with art. You know, if you have a kid's bedroom with just like plain walls, how do you expect that child to just like have things to jump off of in their mind? And then you go into a school and they just look like prisons with like some little like corrugated like card on the side. And I'm like, where is the beauty that they can aspire to in their lives? So yeah.
I know someone that does interior design for like feelings, so they get hired by hospitals and things like that, because especially with disabled children with ailments of the mind and things like that, the space in which they walk into will really have an impact on the way they behave in those spaces. So they could spend an entire day calming a child down that had that child walked in a more calming space, it would be in and out in like 10 minutes.
Of course.
So the way that the spaces are designed has a huge impact on our feelings and emotions.
Yeah. Amen. I agree with that. That's why I'm someone, even before I knew the Lord, how long have you been a Christian for?
Well, it's when does it start? When does it end? I jumped in the water, like 2 years ago?
Sick.
I guess that's a good point of where it started.
Okay, perfect.
But to be honest, I was doing it because I thought, well, this is important, clearly, because a lot of people do it, and this will be the bit where it reveals itself. So I'm just going to do it out of obedience, and then if it's a big deal, it will obviously become a big deal after, and I'll know why I'm doing it after. So I just said yes, and I do all that stuff, and absolutely.
Nice.
And then, I guess it did everything after.
Praise God.
Yeah, no, it's cool.
I love it.
Yeah.
Wow, okay, yeah. So I'm 3 years in,
Right.
and like 2 years since jumping in the water. And before even I was saved by Jesus, I would always say to people, what's your big dream for life? What do you think your purpose in life is? And most people are like, don't know, I don't really think about it. I'm like, how do you not think about that? But for me, I always knew that it was like to bring beauty into the world, to try and make spaces beautiful, because I knew instinctively that people don't always realize it, but like these children who don't understand the environment and can't comprehend it, we just are affected by the environment around us. That's why, like, just in this space right now, we've got all these little plant pots, all the plants around a courtyard to enclose us and make us feel safe, like we're protected from the street in front of us. Like, people don't pay enough attention to just how it relaxes us without us even trying.
Yeah,
And I always was tuned to it.
There's lots of benches around here. It's no coincidence that we sat here, surrounded by someone clearly creates this garden for us to enjoy.
Exactly. I was like, this is my purpose in life.
What was one of the best answers someone gave you from a sort of like, because I'd love to meet that person that their dream is just really humble, simple, but just they're aware of that's what they're after. Or did you get any of those answers?
I mean, I think you get a lot of, probably nothing that struck me, you get a lot of people who say, I just want the simple life. I just want the simple life. But I think often you find that it's just out of a space of just like apathy and being fed up with the world. It's not out of a place of pure inspiration. It's just like like, I'm fed up.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, this was before Jesus. I didn't meet a lot of spirit-filled
Yeah,
people.
because I think back to my granddad, and he had his shed. and I was so lucky that I didn't realise that not all granddads like making toys for their grandchildren in their shed.
Wow.
So he literally turned his shed into a spaceship for me and my brother, because he would just screw in switches. So we would go in there and they didn't do anything, but he would tell us that they did. Or there'd be some buttons that he would actually, because he was quite a joker, right? But he would say, you can press all the others, but do not touch that one. but none of them did anything, but we didn't, because we were like, okay, fair enough. And he was someone that like gave us so much freedom that if he said not to touch a button, probably don't touch it.
Okay, wow.
But yeah, it just makes stuff.
Oh,
it just,
I love that.
It just go to the shed and make stuff out of whatever he had, like cigarette tins and bits of wood here, there, and it was just magical. He just had a real imagination.
I love that. My mum would always tell me about how her mum, and so my grandmother's like age back in Malaysia, when they are getting married, they make and sew like all of the like their bedding for their entire marriage. They sew all of the pajamas, all of their own clothes. And then when they have children, the grandmother sews clothes for the children instead of like going out and buying them from a shop. And then every single day, the grandmother's making 3 times a day meals for the entire family and like neighbors as well.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, there's something so pure and beautiful about that I think we definitely lose here. And me in my life now, like when people see me now like doing lots of cooking, lots of baking, like and now learning how to sew, it's because in my head I see what that life that my grandma had and the way that she provided in ways that you can't buy from a shop for her family, and I want to be able to be that. But like it starts from an early age. Like the grandmother was trained from when she was a young girl.
You pass it on.
Yeah.
And it's the opposite to disposable.
Yeah.
Like those things become more beautiful as like the great grandchild discovers this handmade quilt and asks who did this, and it's like, well, you never met her.
Yeah.
But this is who made this, and then it'll get repaired.
Exactly.
And it's something of
the
solid.
art of repairing stuff as well.
Yeah.
Lost.
Well, we've all got a lot, like you said, to make things beautiful. For me, it's words, and hopefully there's people that like knitting and being with fabrics, because I love stuff like that.
Yeah.
And well, I have a quilt that but I have to ask my mum who actually knitted it for us, because there was 2 blankets. They're all shredded and things like that now, but we still got them. Again, the fact that if anything else was shredded, you'd throw it away. But not these, because they were made by someone who I will text my mum later and find out who they were from.
So your music, what kind of a journey have you been on with your music? Because I know that you used to be in a band.
Yeah.
I'm not sure the story of that. And then now you're trying to make music again, but...
Yeah, ChatGPT, give me a 30-second answer of the band. I was always writing songs, doing things by myself. I got in a competition when I was at college, got to the final of that competition and wanted to win it. Competitive streak hit, and I was up against the band, so I thought, well, I'm going to need some help here. Went to college, asked my friend Tay to sing with me, asked my mate Sonny to sing with me, and he played ukulele. I just written this song called Lovesick, and then I showed it to them and they said, we really like it, but the second verse is terrible. I was like, you're so deep, Eddie, like cheer up a little bit. So I was like, okay,
too much.
Hold this space. So they said they'd do it if I changed the second verse.
Okay.
So I went home that night, changed the second verse, come back in, and then we won that competition.
Nice.
My teacher heard that song, put it in the end of year show. So it's like this song just was doing stuff, right? I was looking at it. And then the boys came up to me and was like, we don't really want to be at college anymore, we want to leave and pursue the band. And I was like, let's go. So we started gigging, and then Britain's Got Talent approached our manager, because we got different managers, and then that person showed us to that person, and so this person told us that they took our stuff to Sony, who run Britain's Got Talent from the music side of things, and we'd love to have the boys on there if they'd be interested. At which point we were like, no chance. But this opportunity kept coming back to us, and it was a moment in sort of British pop where we just wanted to be a part of it. It was like Labyrinth and Professor Green, Example, Rizzle Kicks was just coming through. It was like there was all these exciting things happening, and we just wanted to pick, like time-wise, we wanted to be in the mix of it. So we just said, we're not going to do any sob stories, you're never going to meet our parents, and we want to sing our own songs. And they were like, cool. So we went on there again, sung Lovesick, got to the finals, and then we lost to a dog. And then here we are, £500,000 just slipped away. Yeah, no, it was cool. Pudsey, it was very cool, very good dog.
Wow.
So yeah, that was that. So I toured everywhere, playing arenas and stuff. Went on tour with Ollie Murs and Scanning for Girls. We went on our own tours, released an album, got a top 10 hit with What a Night. It was wild. Like girls had my posters on their wall and stuff like that, and it was like, whoa, when's this happening? Maybe I'm sure boys might have as well. And then I just couldn't hack it anymore. There were so many things happening with this, like the label would tell you the songs weren't good enough, we haven't got that single next, and I'm sure for some people they would have been able to wipe that over their shoulder and get on with it, but it really penetrated something in my soul where every time I was just more and more rejection, or the trouble is when you're getting amazing opportunities, the amazing opportunities are slipping away as well. So you've got no tangible appreciation of what's actually happening.
Yeah.
Because if you're going for like meetings with ITV to film pilots for a television show and it doesn't happen, you take that as a hit. You're not thinking, how cool is it that ITV even know who I am to want to do a pilot, or that I've got a record label. So if they're saying this song's not good enough, well, what is it they're actually after? Because I can create something towards that rather than, or just, I don't know, like find strength in the moment. But I didn't have that, essentially.
Yeah.
So then I left the band, and then you realise that, oh wow, that was actually my job. And it's not like being a pop star is a transferable skill that you can write on a CV. So then I was just lost for ages. And in that period of time, where I'd gone from when my mates were at uni, I was like smashing it, like, oh, you're and then it switched reversed, because now they've had a job for a few years and we're moving up the ranks, maybe started like girlfriend, maybe getting a mortgage and things, and I was just there like, what am I doing? So I bought a boat, because that's a natural progression.
Yeah, sure.
And went round the canals and everything, and I wrote another album, put that out, but again I had no confidence really. I was expecting it to do what the band did, and it didn't. And that doesn't mean that it wasn't doing well, but everything was just less. Everything I was doing just felt terrible. Yeah. So I was having a little mini breakdown, and I just, to all the money, sorry, I can't really say, can I say? Probably not. Rebuke that word. Sorry. I just spent all my money on going out and getting drunk, and I was just depressed. I had no purpose, and I had a friend reach out to me just about like not drinking, but he sort of tricked me, because I had there's a few drink driving incidents that occurred that I actually thought I was going to prison. It was like a real like, whoa. And then my friend, who has been to rehab a few times, he told me about this book. Now, I thought he was telling me about it to help him, because I know I'd been listening to all these podcasts about the buddy system and AA and how it works. Right. Because I guess I was always too scared to go to one, but I was so intrigued of like,
what's going on?
I wanted help. But so I'd know what they do about like the steps and all of the buddy system. So when he reached out to me, I thought he wanted me to be his buddy. But really, he was mind tricking me, because he was he was being my buddy.
Bless him.
So yeah, I was sober, and then I went to North Wales and lived by the mountains for quite a while. Sorry, this isn't the 30-second version.
That's all right.
And I was just looking out, like just watching the world go by from the top of a mountain, and the ocean just waving along, and the birds flying past, and it was so beautiful. And I just stayed there like, wow, like in London you feel everything's about you. And then I'd made myself famous to make everything more about me and to be told I was brilliant. Whereas being up on the mountain, I'm there, I'm just a part of it. Like, thank you for letting me. It was the first time I was grateful to just be, like nothing else. I just want to be here and admire this. And then as an artist, you start thinking, oh, this is pretty beautiful. Like someone actually couldn't paint something more beautiful. They could try to recreate it, but they couldn't conceive it. Yeah. So then I started going down this lane, and then I was at a wedding, and I got chatting to this girl on the dance floor, and she was like, just to let you know, I've got no desire to be with any man that's not a Christian. And I was like, well, it's funny you say that, because I was on a mountain the other day, and I've been watching some documentaries about God. So that doesn't scare me. I just need to learn more. So can I come to church with you? And went on that sort of journey. Wow. And then, and that never worked out. But I've just been following the scent ever since. And
the God thing worked out.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I've just been leaning more and more in. And then, because of church, I found this great sense of peace in my own life to reflect on everything and where all these things of me, why do I want to be famous in the first place? So I was putting them to bed. I was like, right, cool. I don't want to do music anymore, because it was all about self, and I don't want to do this. I'm singing once a week in church. That's a lovely feeling, just makes me feel good. Let's do that. So I actually started doing comedy. So I'm doing stand-up comedy, everyone's laughing, which is usually a good sign, having a great time. I'm like, cool. So when I went to Christchurch for the first time, I was telling everyone I'm a stand-up comic. And then I went to worship night, went home and wrote this song about Jesus. And then I was like, uh-oh, is this what you want me to do? And then honestly, like people have just been coming, like a manager approached me. Like, was like, oh, I've heard you've been coming to church and that you used to make music. Would you ever consider doing it anymore? And I was like, well, I wrote this song the other night. And it's like, mate, I love it. And then little things. So then we made a whole album, and then was like, maybe we get a record label. I saw on Instagram there was this label called Wings, and they had this A&R man. So I showed it to my manager now, Mark, and I was like, we should approach this guy. And he went, my dad goes to church with his dad in Canada. And I was like, no. So we went to meetings, so then they signed us, and then all these things have just been happening. It's like, yeah, it's just been boom, boom, boom. So then I've just been going with it. Like,
just riding the wave.
Yes, that's it. I'm not putting any pressure on it, because I did that in the past, and you do not win.
Nope.
And so that's why I've been so inspired by everything you've been doing, because the consistency there, and it's golden. Like you've got bags of energy and creativity. And it's just wonderful to see, and it's just a gift. And then we just got to keep doing these things and then see what happens.
Yeah, we're surfing.
That's it. Yeah. Yeah.
We're surfing.
But it's beyond having faith in your art and your creativity, because it's like there's the physical realization that as creatives we have to earn some money.
Yes. You
can't just completely shut off the world and go, because bit by bit you'll become depleted, and then and also you want to be doing stuff with excellence. So if you want to be thriving whilst making stuff. Yeah,
which takes time as well, which is why for me, doing 2 days a week in a cafe just to get by, it doesn't work, because I need that 2 days a week to take my work from being there to excellent. That's what it takes. It takes more than that even. It takes so much time to produce good work, and especially making YouTube videos, that takes a lot of time. But I don't want to be making art without sharing it. I tried that, and I felt empty, because I was there's a part of me that needs to be sharing stuff with people and interacting with people, and I love I feel so cool and techie when I'm on a laptop. I'm like, I know how to make this work. And so I feel like God has made a way for all of us who are creative to do exactly what we want to do for him, but we just need to trust in him and keep trust falling into his arms, and then let that wave take us, because we'll be like, oh no, surely to please God, surely in order to make our dad proud, we need to go and do diligent hard work. And that was for me, I was because also, you know how our relationship with our natural parents can be a reflection of our relationship with God, but sometimes it's not always correct. And so I was thinking, I'm living with my mum at home, and I thought I need to be doing XYZ in order to make it look like I'm successful, I needed to try and make it look like I was being on par with all of the other peers my age, people who are going out there getting jobs. They are beautiful.
It's going to be quite a lot, because I think it's
Whoa, it's kind of too many.
This might have won Britain's Got Talent if we've done.
What time is it? 11 p.m?
It's coming up to 12.
Maybe they do the half hours too.
They do every minute of the day. There you go. A reflection of your parents.
Yeah, I'm living with my mum. I'm thinking that in order to please my mum and to have a good relationship with her, I need to be doing the most and looking like I'm making it on the outside. And so I was striving, and I was doing things from my own strength in order to please man and not to please God. And sometimes it just takes things not working out in order for you to be okay, let me just reevaluate here. And so then I got to reevaluate and be okay, I literally have tried so hard to do things for God out of my own strength and making my own plans to do things for God, and it doesn't get me where to a place of feeling good. And so I just like completely, like I step back, and I'm just like, okay, God, like I actually have no idea, what do you want? And then God like came through and moved in my life, and he changed the circumstances around me so that the wave came. I was trying to like paddle before, and then instead like I just let go, and the wave came and it carried me to shore. And I feel like I'm like constantly just like getting closer and closer to shore, and it's a lovely thing.
Have you told your audience about like the situation that presented itself?
No, I actually don't talk about this stuff on my...
Oh,
Yeah.
are you allowed to?
I definitely am.
Well, because you got someone is your
Yeah.
patron,
Yes.
so they provide
Yes.
finances for you to just keep making stuff.
Yes.
Which is amazing.
Exactly. So I thought I needed to go and get a job in order to be able to fund myself to be able to make art. In my head, I was like, it's a shame that that is the reality of the situation, but we have to make it work.
And for
we
everyone.
have to survive,
Yes,
in this
absolutely.
world, because that's what people do. And I hear all these stories about, the actors and the actresses who are always working their part-time job in order to make it work. And I was like, I guess I'm just going to be one of those now.
Yeah.
And I was like, but that's fine. That's okay. Yeah. And then, it was actually grieving my heart on the inside that was the truth of it. And I was like, but it's okay, it's reality. Sometimes we got to do things we don't want to do. And that's what my mum always kept telling me as well. And I was like, I don't like it, but okay. Maybe this is my discipline. Maybe this is me growing up. And then I was in the shower one night, and I just had an interview at a cafe, and I was like, I'll do it, even though, it takes up all my time, and I'm going to have to really, really work to get YouTube videos out every single week, but I'll do it somehow just until I get to that point where I can finally leave the job and make this thing full time. And then God tells me, he was like, don't go, you're not doing it. Like, my highest calling for you and my highest use of your time is not you going back and giving two more days of a week to another thing. You're going to spend 100% of your time is for building my kingdom, And I was like, could it possibly be?
And talk us, you see when people say God spoke to me, like, can you describe that a little bit more of what that feels like?
Yeah.
Because it's not like some voice in the shower going, yo, I need you to work more for me.
Yeah, I think God speaks in many different ways, and I feel like I'm always like trying to be like, God, how can I hear you more? How can I hear you? Do I hear you? Do I hear you even? But like, we do hear from God. We are guided by God. And for me, I was in the shower, which is like, on the toilet or in the shower are some of my best moments with God, because I'm actually quiet in those times and I have nothing else to do except for just be like, hey dude. And so I was in the shower on a Sunday night, and I remember like thinking to my week ahead, like planning. I was like, okay, I'm gonna find out back from this cafe on say latest Wednesday, and then they'll say yes, and then I'll have my money, and then how much money am I gonna get, and I'm calculating, and I was like pause, and I just said, God, do you actually want me to go back to this job? And
so you're starting the conversation.
Yeah, and I said, God, do you actually want me to take this job? And it's just, for me, when I ask God a question, the instant answer, the instant gut feeling in my head, it's either like a thought like yes, no, right? And the first one that comes quickly, that's God. Because then all the other thoughts that come, they come from my flesh. They bubble up and they give me my rationale. They give me all of like this makes sense because of all of these reasons, X, Y, Z. So I always just go on like the instant yes, no. So it's like a magic 8-ball. I just ask God, I'm like, okay, ask him a yes, no answer, and then trust that the first thing that comes up is the one I haven't had time to process my own answer yet.
Like if you were still a child, what would you go for?
Exactly.
Like before all the adulting stuff starts to penetrate.
Yeah, and just trust that my dad in heaven like wants to give me my answer, the correct answer immediately. Yeah. And it's about trusting that, because you could just not trust it, especially like the answer didn't make sense in the natural. The answer said, don't go and get the job, stay unemployed with no hope for like your job coming up, no plan for how you're going to make money. Here's a possible avenue to get money in the next month to keep you going for the next however long. And then God says no. And it's like, that's crazy. Like, and I was like, okay, I'm going to sound crazy when I tell people that I'm not taking this job, but I trust that God told me that. I still felt confused for the next day
so it wasn't like, I'm not doing that because I'm doing this. It was still, I'm not doing that, but I've got no...
Yeah, it was like, okay, I'm not doing that, but I have no idea what I'm doing now.
Which is, because what I was going to say, that it's so lovely that you got your mum on board, because that's like another way of alleviating a lot of pressure for creatives, is to, if you can stay at home or somewhere where you're not like... pay your way or whatever, but that you're not constrained by commercial rates of rent.
Yes.
It just helps so massively. And sometimes it's an honest conversation of purpose with your parents or with your loved ones, whoever it is, to just say, look, I've got a plan. This is what I want to do, but I kind of need your help and support for the bit in between until I get there.
Exactly.
I know it's not ideal, but let me know what I can do to make that out. And sometimes just letting people know that you have got a game plan, you're not just standing in your room playing computer games.
Yes.
They'll get on board with it, like, hopefully anyway. And if they don't, well, that's on them.
Yeah.
And then who knows?
It's like you were there in the conversation between my mum and I. Like, I was like, Mum, you know that I'm not just sitting around with my hands like underneath my butt doing nothing. Like, I actually am always trying. I'm trying. And she sees that. And she was the first one to actually say, like, Kat, I want to support you financially, because she said that before I became a Christian, she was praying that her family would serve the Lord. She was saying, I pray that my family become servants of Yahweh. And then I'm now like suddenly liberated. I'm like, I want to serve the Lord. I want to serve the Lord. And then she was on a prayer walk with the dog one morning, and she was like, she felt like God told her in a thought that if I'm actually doing the will of God now, then she should be able to provide for me in this time, because she knows it's not forever, but yeah, she can really help me in this time.
She's your collaborator now.
Yeah.
Like how beautiful is that together you're working on this thing. You're farming together.
Literally,
like,
I feel so supported in my house as well.
I've had that same journey with my dad, because he started off his life in faith, like he was in a choir and everything, and then he I think he drifted off a little bit, but then the fact that I've come to Christ at the age of 32 or whatever, he finds he can't believe it, because he's there going like, because I never mentioned any of this to you. I didn't make you do any of it. He can't believe that, like, it's just happened without him. And then now he's on a theology course because it's re-inspired him. But then he's never made music, but he's always liked music. I guess he knows that whatever he can do he can live his dreams kind of vicariously through us.
Yeah.
And I remember him telling me to get a proper job. Like, imagine that, you're age 17. What is a proper job? He supported Llanelli Scarlets, big rugby fan, and we actually played at their stadium. So I remember like the satisfaction of giving him a ticket to that show. But it was like, why did I even have to do that? Like, so it's like you got two options there. You either support, nourish, and like cherish people, or you try and smash them down. When you look back, who do you want to be?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Who do we want to be in people's lives?
Exactly. Encourages and builder-uppers.
Yeah, because you'll never be embarrassed by the fact that you helped someone and it didn't happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you don't look back and go, oh, I was really nasty there for helping someone or giving them some advice or like doing something for them. Yeah. But then you will look back and go, I could have done something. Especially at that age where it might not always end up being, the artist might not be a painter, but they might go on to work at a school with the most amazing like painting skills that they can pass on to children. Yeah. It's all good stuff for the pot. Yeah, exactly. So just follow it and see where it takes you. Yeah, even if my mum's sewing into me now and it's not me who has the biggest possible impact, but it's my children, because of who I've become, because of the way that my mum supported me, like, that's gonna impact so many more people than just I could have impacted. And that's like when you really think long term. And then just within our own personal lives, thinking long term is so important. For me, I was like, with the art thing, I was like, if I'm on my deathbed and I didn't give it a go, I will always regret that. You know, I will just be normal if I've gone and done the big corporate thing. I've climbed the corporate ladder. I became like head of marketing of some random company somewhere. I'm like, I can see that life already. I can already track that into the future and see how that life looks. But this world of unknown, this stepping into the unknown with God, that is an adventure. I can't see what that looks like. And that's the life I want to live. When I'm on my deathbed, whenever it comes, I want to be like, I didn't live the life that I could already picture ahead of me. I didn't go the safe way. I lived this life to like whatever God wanted it to be. And that's so exciting to me. And I think certain people are programmed in a certain way that we are built for that. Yeah. Because I've tried the other way. In between the band and now, I taught myself how to code. And then I've got into cybersecurity and all these different jobs. I tried to do the 9 to 5 thing, and I just I didn't want to be here no more, because I just, like you say, you see the life ahead of you, and it's not who I am.
It's not what you want.
And then I thought, well, maybe it was just because of the industry. I'll go and work for a record label. So I was in the creative world, but working, and again, the same thing happened where I just felt myself get more and more depressed because I knew what life looked like. But there's something about the now, that sense of adventure, that whatever it is about us, it's what we're built for.
Exactly.
And some people, it freak them out.
Yeah, so, not for everyone.
No, exactly. But how amazing is it that there's some people that really don't want it? Because I always say to people, you don't want everyone on stage because there's no one in the audience.
That's what I'm saying. I was like, you can't have everyone being a leader because nothing ever gets done.
Yeah, well, I'm a beekeeper. Transition point, and all the bees have different jobs and roles, and it works. But if they all did the same thing, like,
exactly,
do you know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah. I'm so grateful for people who just like are content. Like my mum, she's a systems manager at like a big company, and I'm just like, I'm so grateful for you because now I get products in my kitchen that make my life so much easier. I couldn't possibly ever do that.
Yes.
But she loves her job, and I'm like, that is exactly what you were made for. And that made me understand like this picture of the body of Christ that we have. It's like I could be like the best pinky finger ever, but I'd be a terrible knee, you know. But my mum's a great knee.
Yeah, she's a rock star.
She's a fantastic.
I can't even remember what you said. She was systems administrator.
Exactly. And I was like, what? Like for me, I'm like, what? But for my mum, I'm like, I actually see that you're thriving in that, and I love that for her.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it just gives me perspective on life. I'm like, oh, okay, like our journeys with God is so tailor-made to every single one of us, and that is such a beautiful, beautiful thing. And it's like the life that you could have, a life that you could have, a life that you could have, and I'm not going to try and project onto you my dream life because I know it's not that, and I don't want that for you anyways. God doesn't want that for you.
And I think that responding to God's will is listening to those feelings and being directed by them, because we don't always necessarily know what it is that we're supposed to do. Like you said, in your scenario, you knew what you wasn't supposed to do, but didn't mean you knew what to do. But by listening to what you're not supposed to do, eventually you're shuffled to a space where those feelings aren't there, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, that must mean I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, because those feelings aren't here at the moment.
Yes, on that actually. So like, you know how you and I tried like doing the corporate thing. Like we start with this creative spark within us, but then the world tells us, no, like go get your normal job. That's how you survive and make it in life. So we try the corporate thing this way. We're like, okay, maybe if I just tailor the corporate world into more of my creativity, then it will work. And then we try it that way and we're like, it's just not it, it's just not it. And we do all the things that we think are right in order to close those doors and know that it's not right for us. Then we come to a place where we're like, okay, well, I know what it is that I must do now. But then we get met with this fear and anxiety that we're not going to be supported to do it, you know? And that's, I think, that's where I was. And that's maybe where you are.
That's right earlier. You're like, I'm like, whoa, give me a slice of that, honey. What are we doing?
And I'm like, just trustful into his arms, because he's not going to give you this gift and this burden and taking you this far just to leave you high and dry. And it's just like, okay, cool. Like, make a move then. Like, I trust you. Let's do it. Let's do it. And I was like, okay, do I have enough money to last the rest of the day? Yep. Sick. Let's just do what God made me to do today. And I started painting a painting. And I was like, okay, the next day I wake up, do I have enough money to? Yeah, okay, cool. Let's not worry about tomorrow. It's not my job. It's literally a commandment to not worry about tomorrow. So every single time we're there anxious about a month's time, we're literally disobeying the Lord, which is like the first commandment, you know? It's like, don't disobey the Lord, honor his commands.
You saying that, I was 7 a.m. prayer this morning. We're reading Joshua 1, and it says, this is my command, have strength and courage. Yeah. And so that's what I said this morning. I'm saying it's not asking us to have strength and courage. It's telling us this is a command. It's not saying when you feel like it or if you can muster it.
Yeah, like, okay, I'm doing it now. No, it's saying
I am commanding you to have strength and courage.
Yeah.
So it's like you're charging me up. So I guess it's just, it's like, it's surrounding yourselves in that space, finding those people, creating that, not a gang, I guess, but just family of people on the same journey that get it, that fill your batteries up, fill the jar, as they say, and then and then it doesn't then it's not so lonely. Then the world's not winning with what they're telling you should do, because actually we're in this, we know why and what. I don't have to explain to you that my last YouTube video had like 40 views and I spent loads of times on it. Oh,
Yeah.
what's happening? Because you're like,
I'm like, get
honey, next one will be like, and that happens.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, so yeah, 50, and then 5,000
Yeah.
and loads of comments in the,
Yeah,
and then
I
that's the
saw.
most exciting bit because people having conversations in your
know,
video and it's
this
like, wow, I'm correct. That's it. Yeah.
It's like, I used to use this analogy of like an octopus spreading its tentacles out into the world, and we're just like, we're there, we're like, okay, we start here, but we're just like, let me just go there and go there, and we're just constantly trying to explore new terrain, and that's why this life is so exciting.
It is, yeah. For us.
Well, yes,
Some
exactly.
people would be like, ah!
I know, and I'm like, okay, you just, you follow, you do that thing.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
good to have these conversations because, like you said, like otherwise we just feel like we're the only one and we feel like we're weird out here. But now, like I know so much that like I'm doing what God is asking me to do because so many doors around me just like closed, and now I feel like God's provided for me, and I'm like, this is amazing, you know, and the fire I feel on the inside right now, like I'm just like, this just feels so amazing. And so when I'm walking around, I'm just like, I feel like kind of invincible right now. Like kind of, not in like a prideful way because it's only because of God. If I lose that tether with God, I'm absolutely nothing. But like me with God in this world, I'm like, wow, this is all just like terrain to take for the kingdom.
Amazing.
Every single person, I'm like, I know that you want God. I know you need God. I know you need God. But how can we just partner with God in order to deliver Jesus to them in the way that they actually can receive it? Because it's not the same for everyone.
Yeah. I guess sometimes I get to that point, like say I've been to a worship night or something like that, and then I feel it creep up and down. I don't know. So it's like, yeah, I wonder how to
maintain that.
Yeah,
level.
without it seeming forced or like, because I'm speaking about this strength of code thing as if I myself don't like. Yeah, but what does that really mean?
Yeah.
But then also maybe it is my creative stance to always be level-headed so that I can bring it to the people.
Yeah.
Like I can understand and love what you're saying, but then also to try and communicate that elsewhere.
Yeah.
Because it won't always translate.
Yeah.
And then that's sort of,
Yeah. I always, actually, let me change the battery on my camera just in case it dies. Just change the battery. Yeah, so on that, when I first got saved, like maybe like a year into my journey with Christ, I remember praying to God. I was like, Jesus, please never let me forget how it used to feel not to know you, so that I can always relate to people who don't know you yet. Because I never want to be just away with the fairies, like, la, 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 and not able to like meet people actually where they're at, because Jesus could meet everyone where they're at. Like, I saw you were reading Luke at the moment, and in Luke, Jesus is like always on his way, like to, from, or at a meal. He's always just like sitting with people, and it's not just like him and his disciples all the time. It's him and people of the world, people who need the doctor, and the doctor's not there like, oh, I just everyone just rise to my level, you know. He's there, and he's seeing into them, and he's reading into their situations, he's telling them about their lives. And like, what I love about my church is that we're very missions focused. So people think that a mission is just going to a different country and then telling people who've never heard about Jesus in that other country about Jesus. But actually, if we are stationed here and God has placed us here, our life is a mission field. This right here is a mission field. My community, my street is my missions field. And why the missions view is so important is because Jesus tells us, go into all the world and make disciples of all nations. And he tells that because the world is sick and they need Jesus, but also because it heals us on the inside as well. It gives us fresh perspectives of Jesus every single time as well. So when I talk to someone who doesn't know the Lord, and I'm trying to make it make sense to them, just like telling them my story, but listening, it's a two-way conversation. I'm saying like, hey, like, what's your perspective right now? And then they tell me something, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, this is how I can specifically try and make Jesus make sense to you in my own language. And then in doing that, I then strengthen my faith with the Lord. I get refreshment of how he's impacted me in this unique way. And it's like, I think for us, just like going out into the world, always having this missions focus, it strengthens our relationship, and it sets us on fire even more. It sets us on fire. But if we just stay as Christians within our own community, and we're just doing it to build up our own community, and we're never going out into the world, we'll choke ourselves out. our own fire will just like, we'll lose the point.
It's reminding me of recycling. Like there's certain products that you can recycle, but then once you've recycled, you can't recycle the recycled product.
Yeah.
Because it's less recyclable. Each time you recycle it, you're completely. Whereas if you're coming across a new thing, you're filled up, you're fresh again.
Yes.
I love it when you read the Bible or you're learning new things and you realise that the world's just catching up with this thing that's always been. So you're talking about that. But if you walked into AA, for example, once you're on the good path yourself, the thing is that you help someone else.
Yeah.
And that always reminds you of why you are sober, because you get to see the joy of their life being sober.
Yeah.
There's other examples that I had in my head of prison reform. Once you come out, you find a good path. When someone else comes out, you buddy up with them to show them.
I love that.
And it's just, it's because it keeps you out.
Yeah.
Because whilst you're helping someone else, you're seeing the light through them. You're not seeing the world pull you into the darkness.
That's so good. I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
But it makes so much sense.
There you go. And because it's the same with fasting when it's in the Bible. And then now everyone's like, did you know you should fast like once a week?
It's super good for you. It's
like,
revolutionary for your health.
It eats away at all your bad stuff.
All the dead cells die.
A metaphor that always helps me, because I think I see it in new Christians, and I experienced this when I first became a Christian too, is that the temptation is like, oh, now that I'm like not sick in the head and the world is so disgusting and dirty, let us remove ourselves and go away into the countryside and live in a commune together and just bring all the Christians and let's just disassociate from the world. And I mean, that's obviously a recipe for cults, but in terms of just like the spiritual physics, the spiritual, how does that not work, is that we carrying the Holy Spirit, we carry fire. We carry fire, but in order for a fire to keep going, we need flammable material. And so when we are going into this world and we see all this dead wood, these zombies, these people who are walking, they don't know Christ, like this is the dead wood that we are meant to go and we're meant to just pass our fire on and set it on fire. That's why like when we're around each other, we just like, it's just two fires coming together and it's like, bonfire, right? But if we go into the commune and we just separate ourselves.
Let's take a pause whilst the cleaning man.
Harmonize with the cleaning man. Beautiful. If you just take that fire and then you remove it into its own space, you isolate it from all of the fresh wood, it just burns itself up and the fire dies. And that's why when we come to churches and we see like just dead congregations on a Sunday. It's like this beautiful building, but it's a dead congregation. It's because they've lost their outward focus. They try to remove themselves and they just turn church into a club that they go to on a Sunday. And it's like, we're just doing this for us. We're doing this for us because it makes us feel good. And it's like, you've lost the point. You don't see long term that it's going to choke yourselves out. And then these congregations 20 years down the line, it's like, where are they?
Yeah.
Where are they?
Because they're eating off the stores rather than growing stuff with roots.
Exactly.
And it's also really exciting to think, like, I've seen how much of a sort of, not just advocated or anything, but a positive impact I've had on my church just through my being.
Yeah.
And there's so many more people out there that are going to come along and make everything more, just bring something else out with the journey that they've been on that someone else can't see or hasn't thought of, because it was supposed to be that person that comes in and does that.
Need every single person. Every single one.
And it's a beautiful thing. And that's why it's so encouraging to see, like, because my generation, so I'm in my 30s, church Christianity is such a, I don't know how the branding wise, it was so like weirdos and all that. Whereas it seems like youngsters, it's a different thing. Like, they're coming through with just such joy and optimism through prayer and worship. And by worship, we mean singing to God, like God, the words of purity, like nice songs. Yeah. To be, when you're in that space, like, I'm so inspired and encouraged. I was at Focus, this camp thing, and went. Have you heard of it?
I went last year.
Oh, cool. I was there last year, but we didn't know each other. When I was there, I was in this tent, and there was like these lads behind me, about 7 of them, must have been about 18, 20, 21, all praying together in a huddle, like talking about like when we leave this camp, I could hear little glimpses, and I thought, so beautiful. When I was their age, I was in Magaluf, like, do you know what I mean, getting up to no good in clubs and stuff, and I thought, like, we were on a race to the bottom. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas they're all trying to build each other up, and I thought it was so beautiful, and I wanted to say something to them, but I thought, oh no, it's a bit weird that this bloke goes and speaks to them. And then as I was standing there, they came up to me and said, "Excuse me, mate, do you mind if we pray for you?" And I just thought that was it. I'm like, "Of course you can." And they all came around me and it was all there. And I thought, this is mental.
Wow.
But it was so lovely. And my mate was with me. So she's looked at me like half giggling, half crying of like, what a moment. And it was, And then after that, I was like, do you know what? I was actually just thinking about how lovely. And I told them about that. And then I was like, thank you. And it was like, there you go.
The culture of encouragement, I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I started helping out at my church's youth nights recently, and then you have all of these 15, 16-year-olds, like 14, 15-year-olds. They're going to school and they're sharing Jesus with their friends, and they're bringing their friends to Christ, and their friends like coming to know Jesus. They're not from Christian families, and they're so on fire for the Lord, and they're running alphas in their own school. They're correcting their RS teachers about things, and I'm like, wow, this is so inspiring.
Because what I have watched with my eyes, what's happened with us, we grew up watching The In-Betweeners, watching American Pie, teaching us that this is how you treat women, this is how you treat girls and stuff like this. We go into the world, we do those things, and then you get in your 30s and we're told off, and you're told you're problematic, you're a you're a this, you're a that. But you're like, whoa. You taught us to do this, and now you're having a go at us because we've done what you said to do.
Literally,
Whereas if you teach the opposite, this is how you respect women, you don't have to do all this stuff. This is how you build friendships, and then those friendships can blossom into relationships. Then you're not having that bit where you're having to point a finger and tell you off, because we've taught people that is not the best way to go about your business. And we all benefit from that.
Amen.
Like the relationships you have with your loved one, your spouse, is nurtured and grown from a purer place. It's not
100%.
You're not brought up in the darkness, that you actually do stuff that you're ashamed of. You'll grow up yourself and look back and go, oh, why did I do that?
I know.
But that's I've seen that with my own eyes happening, and I'm not even that old. So you can only imagine you're going to look back in 20 years' time and what narratives changed. Whereas it seems like the stuff that's in the Bible has been there for thousands of years, and it still can be held on to as that is the way to go.
Whatever we can do, especially as creatives who are trying to, influence media and culture, instead of just like prop it up and keep it going. There are people who are just trying to keep the traffic lights going in order, and keeping the train schedules going on. But then we're actually we're positioned to try and shape and influence culture. And to bring it back to music, I was thinking about how the music that I grew up on taught me to be like, I know it's not a great word, but to be a slut. And that was what I actually dreamed of being. I actually would fantasize about how I can grow up and be the most salacious girl, because that's what I thought it was to be admired and to be respectable as a woman, because that's what respect was to me. It was to be admired by men and to be really sexy and hot. And so I lived so much of my life just like distorted and like aiming and shooting for distortions, and praise God that he's brought me back to it. But that's why now when I think of, and I think about with music, could it not all just be for God? Or for like wholesomeness, And so with my art now, I'm like, oh yeah, I could make some things about the Lord and some things not about the Lord. And I'm just like, no, actually, I just want 100% of everything to be about the Lord, because we live in dire times, and people, like, if I don't give 100%, like, no, how do I word this? There's not enough people doing the Lord's work out here for me to not give it 100% of my energy, and 100% of my devotion. And it's worship in itself is me painting with the Lord and painting for the Lord. And in terms of music used to be so wholesome back in the day. It used to be like about real love. It used to be about like a husband's love for his wife, And then at some point, I don't know, after the 1950s, it all just got so debased and so awful. And I was just thinking, if I could just go onto Spotify, go onto one of their random Discover playlists and just hit shuffle, and it was all like genuine wholesome love songs about pure love between a man and a woman who are committed to each other for life, or like a mother and their child, or a father and their child, or humans up to God. Wow, it would just be so beautiful. But it doesn't exist like that right now. And that makes me really sad, because there are all these kids who don't know any better, who go onto the Spotify Discover playlist. They get poison injected into their minds, and they get it's not even brainwashed, because it's brain dirtying. They just get brain dirtied into becoming the most awful, awful people. And I'm just like,
especially when you're a kid, because it's not like you're consciously aware of what it is you're saying or what it means.
No.
So yeah, it is a fascinating thing.
Yeah. So you have so much power to influence people's minds in a beautiful way, and responsibility to steward that well.
Well, and even I think back to the songs that I wrote in the band. Like, the lyrics were true to me at that moment in time, but really problematic when I look back at them. And I do remember, like, because we had a top 10 hit with What a Night, which is essentially a song about getting drunk, having sex, and making money. We drink, we party, make love, make money. I've been grafting hard all week, and so until I'm an antique, we're going to drink and party, make love, make money. And we produced, the producer of that song had just become a Christian at that moment in time. So I know he felt conflicted with producing it, but he really loved us and all of these things. But I remember his mum actually saying that, why is it Justin is his name, why is it Justin that all the songs you put out are always about such bad things? And I remember him saying that, and I thought it was funny at the time, and now I look back and it's funny because we're outside a Catholic church, and he's proper Catholic. He paid for me to go on a Catholic pilgrimage. That was the video. He was the one that took me on that.
Wow.
So you think of the journey that we've gone on. But I'd never forget that. Of his mum saying that. It's interesting, of all the conversations that was said during my time, I forgot most of them, but I have never forgot the fact that his mum said about the song that I wrote, why don't you release songs about nice things? Because I didn't. It washed at the time. It wasn't even like an insult to me or anything. But now I look back as like it was like a prophetic word. Fascinating. And the fact that even said that to me aloud, like, because it could have been quite insulting for him to say. But he was giggling about it at the time of like, but we're still doing it.
Like, lol. But I think when you're in the world, you're not sensitive to stuff like that, and that's why you see people like I see girls my own age who I used to be friends with, and they were perfectly nice people from perfectly nice families, but they didn't have the Lord. And then it comes Halloween, and they're dressing up as the devil, like little cute devils. And I'm like, that literally makes me feel sick inside now, to even want to associate with that. Never mind dress up as that and take on whatever that brings with it. But people in the world are just so numb to the higher things.
My thing at the moment is my phone number ends in 666 through choice, right? Because I love Iron Maiden. That was the band that got me into music, and my accountant was their accountant as well. And so they got a song, 666, the number of the beast, and she was like, would you like this phone number?
Whoa.
And I was like, yes, please. And now I've still got it, and I feel like, and all the people that are saving my number in their phones are these new Christian people like me, and I'm like, ugh. But then I think, it shows how far I've come. And the thing is with art, the devil is always going to be in Christian art. Like, we own the devil. Like, he doesn't own us, we own the devil. So that doesn't mean we're scared of it. We have to be aware of it. It has to be embraced by it. I agree with that scenario. Why would you want to dress up and incorporate that? But it will always be there. Like you walk in there, the stained glass windows with those little dragon snake things and stuff like that. Like it is part of
I think there's different types of music. So when I write songs, because I've had such a radical transformation, and I'm always trying to like meet people and wake people up and call people out in their circumstance that they're in, like in the Galatians 5 passage we were reading last night, when it's just listing like, this is the symptoms of if you're living in the world, these are the attributes of a debased mind, basically. And I would always write songs like naturally being like, I was here and now I'm here. I was here and now I'm here. The devil had me here and now I'm here. This is what the devil does and now I'm here. But then I have friends and they are true like worship leaders. And the songs that they write, it's all about like, God, you're like this, God, you're like this. Just about like, you are holy, you've done this for me. And I'm like, I love that. There's a space for that. And like, they couldn't imagine writing a song where it mentions the devil and going and sinking people into what the devil's done to people. But I can't imagine writing a song that doesn't try and like catch people in that place and say, hey, recognize yourself here, and then pull them out of that space by the end of the song. And so for me, I love I must encapsulate all of it
Yeah.
in my art. But then there are those pieces that it's just like the mantelpiece at the end of the church there on the altar. It's just Jesus in His glory, you know. But
well,
you go
dying, so that's,
Well, yeah.
That's gruesome and then elevated.
Yeah.
But it's funny because we were talking about that in the coffee shop beforehand, and I thought it's quite beautiful that it's depicted there.
Yeah, but yeah, it's the whole gospel.
There you go.
It's the full
Heard of
gospel.
it. Yeah.
It's a good job it comes up in our conversation.
Yeah, I mean, it's covered a lot of cool ground.
Yeah. Actually, one of my favorite pieces of artwork. It's this like ceiling mural in a church in Italy, and I dreamt about it before I actually arrived there and I saw it. It was one of the best moments of my entire life. But it's basically, you start at the top and you have the Trinity depicted like a triangle in gold and light, and then the dove, and you've got coming down like rays of just like God rays going down, and you've got, I think it could be like a David figure just like looking up at the glory and the majesty, and then you've got all of these heavenly creatures around, floating around, and then you keep going down further and further, and then suddenly you have like dark clouds coming in, and you have a lightning bolt coming down from this staff in David's hand, and then you've got this like dragony creature just being like repelled into the pits of hell at the bottom, and I was like, whoa, that is sick.
Yeah.
And this is the kind of thing that I want to be creating in my art, you know, showing the entire picture.
Painting a ceiling.
Yeah.
That would be Slay Queen.
Yeah, be a lot of lactic acid in my arm and
Yeah,
a lot
maybe
of paint
ask
in
your
my
mum
hair.
first.
Actually, she already has. My room already has paintings on the ceiling.
Oh, serious?
Yeah, I'll send you a photo.
Yeah, fun.
I already done it.
Love
I was like, I
that.
want to turn my room into a church.
Yeah. That's well cool.
Yeah.
I watched a good Michelangelo like documentary,
Ooh.
and it was talking about like how he took all that on.
Yeah, pain. No pain, no gain.
Yeah, but he did it once, and then he used the wrong paint, and it all started flaking off, so he had to start again. And imagine that.
I know.
Oh.
I know. For me, I'd be like, it's going to be better the next time, right?
Good old Michelangelo, eh? Solid effort. Well, thanks for this moment, man. It's been awesome.
Thank you. So, what are you working on at the moment?
Oh yeah,
What's the
just
plan?
I got a new album coming out in January,
Sick.
and I'm just releasing songs up until that point. So, new song out called Reno at the moment, which is about my journey to faith. You mentioned something earlier where you're making art at the moment that reveals beauty. The album's called Common Kalos. Kalos being a Greek word, pronounced Galos, but I know it's spelt with a K, so I just know no one British is ever going to go Common Galos. So I'm calling it Common Kalos because that's how it's spelled. And Kalos is basically like a 360 version of beauty, that it's not just an outwards facing thing. It's not just like whether you're handsome or you're pretty. It's how you conduct yourself. It's like you can be handsome in the nature of being on time, or just how you speak to people. And just, do you know what I mean? Like, that's such a beautiful attribute.
Integrity.
Yes, integrity being a form of beauty. And that's what Galos is.
Wow.
So it's Common Kalos because it's like trying to discover those moments every day, like this, like going out for a coffee and a banana cake with someone that you've met once, but then you've been following them since then, and you're like, I like what you do.
Time. Yeah,
that's it.
Oh, I love it. Oh, whoa, you've just unlocked so much more with Kalos. Okay, we must call it. Oh, thank you so much. This is so much fun.
That's it, yeah.
All right, should we
Until
walk up
next
to the
time.
camera and say peace out?
Peace out, God bless.
God bless you.